folks, Rob Dreemeyer here. Welcome to Broadway Barfly.
If you're a theater fan who loves a great cocktail, click that subscribe button because Broadway Barfly is the channel for you.
A few weeks ago I was at a picnic. It was a small outdoor gathering, socially distanced, so everybody there was behaving responsibly. But I enjoyed something that I had never tried before, and that was cucumber-infused vodka. It had this light, bright flavor. I was drinking it mostly with club soda so I could really get a handle on what it was I was tasting. But others were having it with pomegranate juice, and I can tell you just those two things, the infused vodka and the pomegranate juice, also made a really nice cocktail by themselves. As everybody was sitting there throwing around their ideas of what they might use this cucumber-infused vodka for, what other cocktails they might make with it, all I could think was, I wonder if this is something we could make ourselves for Broadway Barfly. So I did some research, and sure enough, infusing vodkas is something very easy to do, and we can do it right here. Infused vodkas are really quite popular right now. The last time I was at one of the local liquor stores I go to buy our supplies for these videos, I realized that they actually had more infused vodkas on the shelf than they did just regular vodka. And that's because a lot of these brands have full lines of infusions. Everything you can imagine, from ginger to basil, vanilla, all sorts of fruits, combinations of all of those things. I have a bottle of blueberry vodka, which was given to me as a gift not too long ago, which is a very popular flavor, and you can make all kinds of wonderful things with that. So in future videos, maybe we will make more infused vodkas, but today we're going to start with the cucumber vodka. We need two things to make this. We need a cucumber, and we're using an English cucumber, sometimes called a hothouse cucumber. It has a sweeter flavor than your typical garden variety you would use for pickling. And we also need a liter of vodka, and this is not a time to go splurging on some premium spirit. What you want is a sort of moderate-priced, well-leveled brand, something that you like, because the whole point is that we're going to be changing its flavor. We start by peeling our cucumber, and I'm going to do this with just a regular vegetable peeler. And with this all peeled, we will cut off the ends. And then slice it right down the middle so that we can remove the seeds. With our cucumber seeded and peeled, we're just going to cut it up into pieces. The only thing to be careful of is you don't want them too small. This is going to sit in the alcohol for a few days, so we want them big enough to hold some shape. If they're too small, they're just going to dissolve into the alcohol. In a clear jar, we add our pieces of cucumber. And to that, we add our vodka. Now we just let this sit. We seal it up, and we're going to store it in a cool, dark place for probably 4 to 7 days. After the third day, I'm going to start tasting it, and I'll taste it every day thereafter until it gets to the potency I'm looking for. By all accounts, you could let this sit up to about 2 weeks, but you do run the risk of it becoming a little bit bitter if you let it sit too long. So after 3 days, I'm going to start tasting it. I'll taste it every day thereafter. I'll let you know how many days it took to get to that place where we want it. So I'm going to put this away, and now what we do is we wait. The cucumber has been sitting in the vodka now for a full 7 days. And as I said I would, I started tasting it after the 4th day. And on that 4th day, when I opened the jar, I was really pleasantly surprised at the fragrance from the jar. But I really couldn't taste the cucumber in the vodka, so I let it sit a few more days. Yesterday, on the 6th day, that cucumber flavor really came through. So I let it sit 1 more day just for good measure. And today, on the 7th day, I gave it a final taste. I poured some out in a glass to let it breathe, to make sure I was really tasting the cucumber and not smelling it. And sure enough, it has this nice, bright flavor. So I'm going to call this done. For those of you who are thinking, oh, it's going to be like drinking a salad, that's not really the case at all. It's just this nice, light something extra. So we need to strain out all the vodka. You may not be able to see it in the camera, but there are all these little floaty bits that have broken off, and we want to strain all of those out. And so to do that, I'm using not only a strainer, but also a coffee filter, and that'll catch all of those pulpy bits. Okay, this took a little bit of time and some patience, but we got all of the alcohol out. I'm going to give this just a last squeeze to get out all of the good stuff. And there we have our cucumber-infused vodka. So the only thing left to do is to ladle this back into its bottle. I can't wait to try this. I'm going to try it over some ice with some club soda, but also I look forward to using it as a substitute for regular vodka in a number of different cocktails. And when I come up with some of my favorites, I'm going to show you. Cheers.
If you enjoyed the video, why not give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends? Feel free to leave your comments and click that subscribe button because there's a lot more Broadway Barfly to come.